Hi folks, Cyclosis here. This is the Cheburkov Hudson in titanium scales, and we'll come to the steel in a minute. It's the sort of standard version, if you like, is in M390. This one is a little bit more special, but as I say, we'll come to that in a minute. Cheburkov is often, or can be seen as, the poor relation to Shirogorov, and in some ways they are. I think this knife's about half the price of a similar Shirogorov, and there are often some shortcuts in that perhaps there's a little bit less milling, the bearing system may be a little bit less fancy, but this is a really quite a nice knife. It's one of those ones that it's too big to even pretend would be a good idea to carry. But it is. If you live in the sort of place where carrying a knife for self-defense is a thing, and you want something smart and posh to carry, then this would be ideal. But here in good old Blighty, the idea of even suggesting that your knife might be used for self-defense is enough to probably get you sent to jail for the rest of your life. But this is a nice and elegant knife. It is, unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, a frame lock knife. Now, lots of people out there love frame lock knives, and that's fine. They're not going to be disappointed with this. It's a straightforward frame lock. It's probably better than most in that the cutouts are done quite tastefully. There's nice curves, no hard edges, which is all very good. There's a rebate rather than a chamfer cut round the edges of the spring and the handle part of it. You've got a machined titanium clip, which is, I'm never a huge fan of machined titanium clips. I think you're trying to achieve what could be done with a cheap bit of steel, but you're just trying to find an expensive and less efficient way of doing it, which is, just never seems to make sense to me. We have a titanium backspacer as well, and just nice and clean all round. There's no extra fancy tricks, no extra fancy milling. Everything is just done nicely and simply. Now, I struggle with flipping knives, as everybody knows, but I can flip this one without any particular special consideration or effort. Partly it's because it's quite big and it allows my chunky hands room to operate. Now, again, in a way, this is kind of maybe stealing a page out of the Shirogorov book, but this blade is really nice. It's got a lovely fine satin fine sort of bead blasted finish to it. Really, really fine, really nice. It's got this lovely long swedge in the back. You've got this high sabre grind, and the plunge line is just so beautifully done. The sharpening choil here down into the reverse end of the flipper tab is just nicely done. It's one of those knives where it's hard to say a great deal about it because it's simple, it's plain. It's almost like Burnley's Quakens or something like that. But it's beautiful simplicity. And in terms of practicality, one wants one's knife to stay sharp for a long time, and I suspect this is possibly not the sort of knife that you want to be throwing on your sharpener every 2 minutes. And as you can probably see there, CPM S125V. which is a super hard wearing steel. Now, I've never put it to the test, and I would suspect there's a fair chance it's going to be a little bit on the chippy side. S90V can be a bit on the chippy side. It's probably why I prefer M390 to S90. But this is S25. That should stay sharp, for the rest of humanity. And the beautiful simplicity of the handle. Two fastenings, both done in a nice bronze finish. On this side, you've obviously got the clip, but there's no extra fastenings for the clip. I presume it's screwed in from the inside. It's screwed in from the inside, and there's a pocket that it sits in, so it keeps it, again, nice and simple. You've got the one screw plus the pivot. Now you do have the insert, which provides a steel insert to give us a good releasable grip on the blade, keep it locked open nicely. Now, is there an over travel stop? Yes, there's an over travel stop as part of that arrangement too. So it's the simplest of things, and yet that simplicity brings elegance. Now, I always have a thing about external relief for the lock bar, because again it can make the knife look a little bit ugly. Here they've done exactly what I always ask them to do, and they have put it on the inside. So you've got the relief, the practicality of it, but you don't have to look at it, you don't have to see it. It's almost just disappeared inside the knife. And I approve wholeheartedly. I think that's the way to go. I don't know what else to say about this knife. It's got a good action. It's a lovely shape. It looks great. I think that blade would be very effective in the sort of things that it might be effective in. You're not going to take this knife camping. It's not that sort of a knife. But if, as I say, you live in a place where carrying a knife for self-defense reasons is and such like, then you might well find this would be a great knife. Also, if you live in a place where there's just a little bit more tolerance, this would make a great knife for using. It's a lovely size. I mean, it's over 4 inches in the blade. In fact, it's 4 1/3 of an inch. So it's a fair size, 110 millimeters. But that is the size you would use if you had a fixed blade knife that you were using. You would want it to be about that sort of size. That's a sort of standard outdoorsman's knife. I think this is just too nice to use outdoors. And I notice it's already, I don't think it's ever been hard used, but I noticed there is some sort of wear on the ends of the clip, and there are a couple of very, very light snail trails and marks in the bronze anodized handle. Well, like I say, I'm not sure there's much. Oh, here's another thing. I don't like jimping. I don't like unnecessary jimping on a knife, and this just doesn't have any. Again, it keeps that plain simplicity. You've got a practical part to the blade where if you're pressing on it with your thumb, you're not going to be pressing on that swedge. You're not going to be pressing on some horrible jimping. It's just lovely and clean. And then you go into that long swedge, which I think just looks fantastic. So, yes, do I like this knife? Yes, I'm very taken with this knife. Would it be the sort of knife I would love to carry? I think actually yes. I think it would be a practical, useful knife. But of course, in this country, no chance. You just can't. So, there we are. So, we've only got 2 more in this series, one of which I need to do some research on. And then we shall be returning these in a week or so, and maybe we'll have some more, you never know. In the meantime, if you like this stuff, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, then subscribe and remember to ring the bell. And if you leave a message, a comment, that would be great. That really does help to push the channel out and get it going. So thank you all very much. I'll see you all next time. Bye.